Welcome back to another episode of the Tailored Property Wealth Podcast. In today's episode, we are sharing 5 affordable Brisbane suburbs. Now, some of these suburbs have grown in value in the last 12 months from all the way up to and some of the median value of these suburbs is under 650K, and there's a couple of suburbs under 750K. So let's get into it. The reason for kind of doing this episode is because there is so much noise out there that property is unaffordable. And yes, some areas are unaffordable in every single location. However, there are a lot of solutions out there for affordable suburbs if you do your research, if you know where to look. So, suburb number 1, Bundamba, which is located in the city of Ipswich, which is in West Brisbane. Now, Bundamba, the median value is $637,000 as per CoreLogic a couple of days ago when researching for this episode. Price growth in the last 12 months, wait for it, 20.5%. Vacancy rate as of May 2025, 0.7%. And distance to the CBD, 26 kilometres. So some pretty good stats for Bundamba. A lot of people think closer to the CBD, that's where the highest growth is, which is simply not always the case. We've got a really strong vacancy rate under 1%. So if you're purchasing an investment property, for example, it's going to be rented out quite quickly. City of Ipswich is going through massive amounts of gentrification, a lot of investment into the city. There's a lot of infrastructure into the city that's improving. Obviously, the 2032 Olympics is improving things across the board. So that's the first suburb. Second suburb is Leichhardt, and that again is in the city of Ipswich in West Brisbane. Median value, $616,000. Price growth in the last 12 months, 20.5% as well. Massive capital growth. Vacancy rate, 0.7%. Distance to the CBD, 34 kilometres. So again, further from the CBD, still really strong performance, still really strong metrics. These couple of suburbs out Ipswich, I guess just for location, because they are more affordable, there's a lot of retirees that are moving out of that area. They're retiring closer to the water. They're downsizing. They're looking at a unit. And then there's a lot of first home buyers moving to this area because of the affordability in the city. And that's really driving some of that momentum in those areas. It's a good suburb if you're a first home buyer, even if you're an investor, to be able to get in and look at affordable areas still. Okay, there's been a lot of talk about Brisbane and the growth, and it's now more unaffordable. But you're looking in those right locations, not everywhere is super unaffordable. All right, suburb 3, we're now moving into the city of Ipswich and Eagleby. Now, this is a South Brisbane suburb, city of Logan. You would probably hear sometimes there's some negative stigmas. However, it has performed so strongly over the last 5 years. Median value is $676,000, and the price growth of Eagleby in the last 12 months, 15.6%. Vacancy rate as of May 2025, as per SQM research, 0.5%, and distance to the CBD, 32 kilometres. So still over that 30-kilometre ring, but we're still getting 15% growth in the last 12 months and still really tightly held vacancies from a rental income perspective. Now, Eagleby is kind of in the middle between Brisbane and the Gold Coast as well. So take your pick where you want to go to on the weekend, for example. So far, 3 suburbs, 15 to 20% growth in the last 12 months. Now, there's people out there who are sat on the fence and haven't done jack all because they're worried about interest rates or this and that, and property market's going to crash. If you could have purchased 12 months ago and you did not, you missed out on 15 to 20% growth if you were to purchase in one of these locations. Beenleigh, City of Logan, suburb number 4, again, South Brisbane, median value $710,000. Price growth in the last 12 months, 13.6%. Vacancy rate, as per SQM research, May 2025, 0.7%. And distance to the CBD, 32 kilometres. So again, median value on this one, up a little bit higher, still got that capital growth, double digit, over 10% in the last 12 months, and still outside that 30-kilometre ring. Deception Bay, North Brisbane, and the final suburb. Now, it is in Moreton Bay City Council, and median value of this one is $747,000. Now, I personally purchased a property in D Bay 2021, almost 4 years ago. I secured that property for $429,000. So for me, being able to get into that marketplace back then was very strong and seen massive capital growth. This is another suburb with a bit of a stigma, high public housing, all the rest of it. Do your due diligence and you can avoid that. However, as those suburbs start to become more expensive, it flushes out some of that lower socioeconomic presence and it really starts to gentrify. And if you kind of look in that area, neighbouring suburbs, the median value is far higher than D Bay, and that naturally will uplift the value there, close to the water. So it has seen 10% capital growth in the last 12 months. So the lowest of the 5 suburbs we're discussing now, and that's probably a little bit because that value is a little bit higher than some of those other suburbs because affordability comes into that growth sometimes as well. But still, double-digit growth. If you're getting 10% capital growth per year, that is awesome when you're always working off 5% conservative year-on-year growth. Vacancy rate, May 2025, as per SQM research, 0.9%. And distance to CBD, 31 kilometres. Again, outside that 30-kilometre ring, still getting capital growth and still solid in terms of vacancy rates. That's it for today. 5 affordable Brisbane suburbs that have seen massive capital growth in the last 12 months, still affordable in Brisbane, in the metro location. Don't think that you are priced out of areas because once you really look at individual areas, there are solutions to be able to still get in. Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed this one. If you want to see more episodes like this based on suburbs, let us know, say you enjoyed it, and we will work on more episodes like this. If you don't know where to put your money to invest in property at the moment, reach out. We can conduct a discovery call and we can see if there is an opportunity to be able to work with you and help you purchase an investment property, to build your wealth through property and to create financial freedom for you and your family's future. Thanks for listening. See you on the next episode.